Hello everyone. Today I wanted to do my end of the year wrap up. So, I've done a lot of reading this year, over 100 books again, and I kind of just wanted to talk about my top 10 best books and some of the books I didn't like. So the one book that I did not finish from my 2018 TBR was War and Peace. So, it's a big book, and I have tried starting this book so many times, and I always get stuck on chapter 2 or 3. So, I was like, okay, I'll try it this year, but I got stuck on chapter 2 or 3. So, I might try it, reading it another year, next year or the year after, but it didn't really capture my interest. I have read Anna Karenina, and I have read, the Brothers Karamazov, and they were really interesting, and it kept my interest, but this one, I don't know, there was just something about it that just didn't get my interest right away. There was a lot of, little footnotes that you have to read to kind of get the background, in every page, there was even half a page of footnotes, so was kind of very slow going and a little off-putting, and the words are very small, so, yeah, so I'm gonna DNF it, not finish it right now, but I will probably pick it up maybe another time. But this is the only book I didn't finish, so, So, I wanted to do my top 10 favorite books of 2018 that I read. So, they didn't necessarily have to come out in 2018, but I read them in 2018. So, the first one is The Hating Game. The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. This is kind of like a romantic comedy. It was so funny. It was so good, about these two people who work in an office, and they just don't like each other. It's the hate to love trope, but it's one of my favorite tropes, and I just really enjoyed this book. So that was one that I really enjoyed. Another one that I really, really enjoyed was Becoming Mrs. Lewis by Patty Callahan. C.S. Lewis is one of my favorite authors, and I always kind of want to know more about him. I even did a author video on him. And this kind of just tells a story, a fictionalized story of him and Joy's life together, but it was done in a really good way, and you can tell that there was a lot of research that went into it. So I really, really, really enjoyed it. The next two books that I read were that I really enjoyed were both by Naomi Novik, Spinning Silver and Uprooted. These are two kind of fairy tale retellings, but they're very wordy, very thick, and they're kind of hard to get through, but they're really good. There's a lot of world building, and the magic and romance are really good. This is kind of a Rumpelstiltskin retelling, and this is it's almost like a Rapunzel Beauty and the Beast retelling. So I really enjoyed these. The next ones I read were another kind of romantic comedy. This is Royals. Especially since the royal wedding happened this year, I was wanted to read a book about the royals. So this is a story about a girl named Eleanor Winters, and her sister is getting married to the heir of Scotland, I think it is. So she's drawn into this world of the royals and what they have to do and stuff, and she meets some of the prince's friends, and it was just a really fun, really quick read. So I really enjoyed it. The next two are science fiction books that I really, 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 really enjoyed. Of course, I had to have Obsidio on here. This is the fourth third book in Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff's series. They have another series coming out next year. I totally forgot about it, that I'm really excited for. But this is just a sci-fi series that is so imaginative. It's told through pictures, letters, emails, drawings, dossiers, which is super good. I got to meet Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, and it was really fun meeting them. So if you want a really good sci-fi book that is just out of this world, read these ones. So the last book, all three books were great, and I think last year Illuminae was on my top 10 best books, and of course Obsidia had to be on there because it was really good. The next one is another sci-fi book, and it's from a debut author. So this is probably my favorite debut author. It's Alexa Dunn, Brightly Burning. This is a retelling of Jane Eyre set in space. I love Jane Eyre retellings. You'll see that. And she just did justice to the characters, and yeah, it was really good. So she's coming out with a kind of a persuasion retelling crossover with The Bachelor. So I am totally up for that. Unfortunately, it's not coming out to 2020. So in the meantime, if you haven't read her first book, read it. It's really good. The next one is one that took me a little bit to read, but it was really good. I always I like history, so when I find something that I find interesting, I just try to find all the books about it. Here's another book about Anastasia, and it's The Romanov Sister by Helen Rappaport. I really liked it. It was really well researched. So this is the book, and this much of it is the footnotes and where she got it, or the appendix page and acknowledgments and her citations. So it was so well researched, and it was really good, because a lot of people know about Anastasia, but they also don't know about the personalities and the stories of the other sisters. So I really liked reading this one. Another book that I really enjoyed, and it was probably on a lot of people's lists, was The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. The second book is coming out soon, and I'm very excited to get it. And this story is about a girl who gets stolen by fairies, and she gets pulled into the fairy intrigue. I had never really read a fae book before, but it was really well written. It pulls you in, really good world building, and I can't wait for the next one. And the last one, which is probably my top book of the year, you guys have probably heard me talk about it so many times, and it is My Plain Jane by Cynthia Han, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. Like I said before, I love Jane Eyre, and two great Jane Eyre retellings. That made my year. So this is just a hilarious retelling of Jane Eyre, and that she can see ghosts, and it is told from the perspective of three people. It tells from the perspective of Jane Eyre, Charlotte Bronte, and a Ghostbuster. So I had to get the audiobook, and I've listened to the audiobook at least 2 or 3 times since I've read it. So this is probably one of my favorite books of the year. So those were my favorite books of the year, but I also wanted to say, kind of mention the ones my 3 books that I did not like. So here are the books that I did not like. The first one, The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight. This is a story about 2 people who meet on a plane, and they kind of start falling for each other, and it's, oh, will they meet again? And it was really good until 2/3 in, And then just, for me personally, it just started getting weird, like some of the settings and the behavior of some of the characters. I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this. And that just kind of brought the whole book down, which was really, 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 really disappointing. Because I really like Jennifer Smith, E. Smith, who writes it. The next book on my kind of top 3 I did not like books was 99 Days by Katie Kodukno. This was supposed to be like a cute contemporary romance. I did not like the main character. She just thought of like no one but herself, and like kind of messed with people's emotions and heart, and like made decisions that were bad. And she kept going like several times. She kept going, oh, I don't know why I'm doing this. Well, then don't do it if you know it's not good. So, and I know she's a teenager, but by 16, 15, 16, you know what's right and wrong, and you should do the right thing. So, I just didn't like the whole thing. And it kind of sadly put me off Katie Kodukno books. Like, there was one that popped up with my library, and I was just like, nah, I don't want to read it. So, sadly. And the last one, which I'm kind of surprised that this is on my list, but Pride by Ibsby Zaboy. This is a Pride and Prejudice retelling. It started off really good, but I just really, really did not like the character the Lizzie Bennet character in here. In the book Pride and Prejudice, Lizzie changes, and she's actually kind and open to everybody, but you don't see that with the main character in here. She judges people on what they look like, and if they don't look like me, then I'm not going to give them the time of day, and I just didn't really like that. So, unfortunately, this is on my top 3 books that I didn't like, which I had such high hopes for it. And like the first part of it was so good. If she was only like redeemed at the end, then it would have been good. But yeah. Anyway, I hope you like this video. Let me know which were some of your top books of the year, or books that you did not like, in the comments below. Hope you like this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.